feel very washed out. Maybe I'll just wash myself more out, you know? Just make it brighter. No, that's too bright. That doesn't look like I have a light on me at all. And we're back to where we started. Okay. Hi team! As you all know, as I have not been able to shut up about it, I recently turned to 25 years old, and that happens when you are alive for 25 years, and I did that, and I'm so proud of myself for making it this far. Oh, really quick. So I tried a couple of other videos at my couch. I have this whole ass couch that I purchased, not for YouTube, but for sitting. I tried doing a couple videos sitting over there, but I couldn't get the lighting quite right, so it looked like I was filming in a, basement. So I guess we are back to sitting on my bed. Who doesn't love to sit on a cushy, cozy bed? Also, the fact that my apartment is the size of a Volvo, you know, until I live somewhere bigger, I'm not gonna have a really good, filming space, but this looks cute enough. I've got my throw pillows. Everyone knows that I'm obsessed with throw pillows. So once again, as you all know from the beginning of this video and from my life, I have recently turned 25. I decided that I was going to make a 25 things that I learned in 25 years video. Let me just throw in that these are all things that I've learned and personally affect me and have been realizations that I've made in my own personal life. I'm gonna say things like don't do this and do this, but that's definitely just me talking to me in reference to things that I have learned myself. So this is my 25 and 25, and without further ado, after a 5-minute intro, I'm just gonna jump right in. First thing I learned ever in my life. First thing on the list. Number 1 is stop touching your face. Number 2, don't wash your hair every single day. I'm literally on day 3 and I think my hair looks soft and beautiful. So get a no wash routine. And then that brings me to number 3, get a skincare routine as well. It's so important, especially as we age. I am at the ripe and tender age of 25 years old, and I can already start to see signs of aging and things like that. While I'm not necessarily paranoid about something like that, aging is natural, you can definitely do a lot to prevent it from getting as bad, and also just general skin health. And then that brings me to my 4th, wear sunscreen all the time. Number 5, it took me years to really get this and to also kind of hone it. Let people like things that you don't like without having to comment on it. I'm not gonna lie, I have a history of someone would mention something that I don't like, and then completely unprovoked, I will have to educate them on why I don't like them, and a lot of times it's not an issue. It's a personal bias or something like that, and I'm like, well, this is why I don't like this person, and they did this one time. 90% of the time, it's not important. So now I get a miniature high when someone mentions something that I don't like, and I say, You cannot like something that someone else likes, and it's completely fine. You don't have to comment on it if it's not hurting anyone. Number 6, nobody cares about you, but in a good way. I spend a lot of time wondering what people think about me, and at the end of the day, nobody is thinking about you the way that you were thinking about you. Nobody cares that much. Everyone is just trying to get through their day. More often than not, they have forgotten all about it, and you are the only one thinking about it. You are the only one thinking about what do they think about me, and that just doesn't make a whole lot of sense for you. Number 7, this was a really important one for me. Your boss is not God. Your boss is another person just like you. They are just in charge of your workflow, what you do. They can give you directives and things like that, but at the end of the day, your boss is not God. This gets into some murky territory because there are situations, I've had bad bosses where my friends are like, well, speak up, blah, blah, blah. And I've been like, they're literally evil, and I can't. But at the end of the day, on a personal level, you need to stop thinking about them in your mind as some deity that you cannot approach, because that just is a completely toxic way of thinking, and that makes it so much more comfortable in a way when you start thinking of them as another person. Number 8, you will always feel better going to bed early and getting up early and not staying up until 3 a.m. because those are the depression hours where you start feeling lonely, the world is quiet, everything is silent, and you start becoming very aware of how alone you are. So if you go to bed when everyone else goes to bed and wake up when everyone else wakes up, it cuts down on your depression time by tenfold. Number 9, matching other people's aggression is not worth it. If you can stay calm and level-headed, and I'm not saying the haughty-taughty like, I'm not raising my voice, why are you raising your voice? I'm better, I'm winning the argument just because I'm staying calm. That's not necessarily true. But matching someone's aggression and getting yourself worked up is only gonna like tear you apart from the inside if it's like not coming from a really natural place. This occurs to me a lot more online than in real life. There are people who will get very aggressive and very worked up, and like not feeding into that has been very healthy for me. And just being able to like take a breath, okay, I understand where you're coming from, blah blah blah, or even just like not respond to it and give it the time of day at all. Both works, you don't have to match aggression. Number 10, college wasn't for me immediately, but it might be now. School style of learning is just not for me. School is not for everyone. It's really not. I'm trying to ditch the idea that that is just like a lazy cop-out. When I graduated high school in 2012, the last thing I wanted to do on top of 13 years of school was go to more school. It just took a toll on me mentally and emotionally, and I dropped out towards the end of my second year. It was the right decision for me, and I can say I don't regret it. I did what was right for me. Having a break from it and having that be years in the past at this point, I have kind of recharged, recentered, and I can look at it as maybe it's time for me to go back to school now. I'm ready. I feel like I can kind of put more energy into it instead of just the fact that finish high school, you go straight to college, and I'm doing what I feel like I'm supposed to be doing. Now I'm more motivated to go and do what I want to do. Number 11 is an interesting one for me because it is that you take pieces of other people that you've dated into your next relationship. Good relationships, bad relationships, I can see little pieces of them in the way that I treat the next person or in the way that I respond to different situations. And I think that's something really cool to look at and maybe try and stay ahead of if you were in a nasty relationship or a really good one, and just a better understanding of how you want to be treated, a better understanding of what it feels like to be on the other side of either situation. Number 12, I learned this from my cousin and one of my very best friends, and that's always ask why. This came up in more of a social justice sort of conversation. If there's anything that you don't understand or have a knee-jerk reaction to, take a breath, ask yourself, why are you reacting this way? Let's just take, for example, slut shaming. Ask yourself why. Why is she a slut? What is she doing that makes her a slut? What is she doing that makes her a bad person for doing what she's doing, being comfortable, not hurting anyone? Why? And it really fits into just about anything I can think of. Just always ask why, and I think that is like one of the most important lessons that I've learned in my 25 years of life. I'm 25. Number 13, somewhat similarly, be with the things that stress you out. I've learned this in therapy, and I practice this a lot when something is really stressing me out. Try not to run from the feeling. As painful as it might be, and as easy as it might be for like the initial reaction to be run away from this feeling, push it away as far as you can. If you can really sit with it and be with it and really try and understand why it's affecting you in this way, and you can do it little pieces at a time as it comes up, because another thing that I learned in therapy, these bad feelings come in waves. You are sitting on your little beach and the tide comes up and then it will go back in. Be with the first wave, let it go away, just get little tastes of what it is that's really bothering you and why it's affecting you in this way. Number 14, I don't remember who the first person was that I heard this from, but you are the CEO of your life and you can hire, fire, and promote accordingly. Take that how you will. It applies to so many things. Number 15, don't do a ton of shopping for one trend. I used to catch on to a trend and then I would be like, going for it, shop, add to cart, buy, and then I would wear each thing once or twice, and then the trend would go out of style, and then I'm just with like a bunch of like kind of crazy items that I'm never gonna wear again until it comes around in 20 years, and then I should save it. Maybe that's another tip. Save your clothes, don't throw them out because it will always come around. Fashion is cyclical. Don't do a ton of shopping for one trend. Buy one or two main items that you can get a lot of love out of, and then you can move on. Number 16, my friend Rachel and I were actually talking about this. Like music, unironically. We were talking about this because we were listening to a lot of music from like our emo days, and then there was just like this kind of shame behind it. And then at the same time, we both kind of came to the realization that like we genuinely like this music. It's so easy to play it off like, let's listen to our dumb emo music, or like dumb like 2000s music. Michelle Branch fucking slaps. And that's not an exaggeration, and I'm not saying that ironically. I genuinely appreciate Michelle Branch. And I think we can all benefit from not like downplaying how much we like things or like making a joke out of it just because it's like we're supposed to like more current things. Like what you like unironically. Number 17, this is a big one. Not everything is worth a conversation. Don't ever feel like a weenie for not standing up for yourself, because sometimes it's not worth the conversation. It's not worth the argument. You don't have to educate everyone. So sometimes it is okay to just let things go and not feel guilty about not standing up for yourself. 18, it is okay to be alone. It is okay to have me time. I realized a lot of the themes of these tips that I've learned is not feeling guilty for things that make you happy. And that includes having me time, being alone, enjoying time with yourself, dating yourself, saying yes to yourself. Being okay with being alone has made me such a happier and calmer person. Number 19, use a top sheet. Number 20, it is never going to be the perfect timing. You will always look out for the perfect timing, and sometimes it's not gonna come. I moved to Chicago out of nowhere. I never met anyone from here. I had never been here before. I moved here with about a month's notice, and I just took the leap. It's never gonna be the perfect time. Just jump. Do it. 21, don't buy a ton of produce on one trip. It will go bad and you will hate yourself for wasting the money. Number 22, brands aren't the be-all and end-all of clothing and accessories. I've learned that it's not always about the flashy logo, and sometimes you can look just as good and feel just as good in a bunch of clothes that you just genuinely like wearing. And that's been super important to me and also saved me a fuck ton of money. 23, be fucking nice to customer service people. Be nice to them. Really just fucking respect people who work in restaurants or retail, and they are not your punching bags to take out your anger on just because they can't fight back. You're a bad person. Number 24, a night in can be so much better than the like wild night out you have in your brain that you're supposed to want and enjoy. Those are really great every now and then, but sometimes a night in, a glass of wine with your friends, or a bottle of wine with your friends, watching a movie or doing an activity, a night in with your close friends, not doing the wild, crazy, young adult, teenager shit. It's just really nice and it feels good. Alright, 25th and 20finalist, be yourself. You are the only you that there is, and you are so unique and so beautiful, and like sometimes it just boggles my mind, even though I am guilty of it as well. There is only one you. Why are you trying to copy another person? Why are you trying to make two of that person or be someone different so that someone else will like you, when there are plenty of people out there who like and want you for you? And not to be so like fake deep, but there's something amazing about just like the fact that you are your own person and you are so unique. There's no one out there like you. And maybe there are people out there who want to be like you too, but fuck. Just be yourself and really love and appreciate that person, because just amazing. Like you are this unique and wonderful person, and then that you would want to throw that away and mask all that you've built through your experiences just to want to be someone else. I have started being so goofy in my regular life instead of trying to like tone it down and be normal and fit in just because I make like a weird joke and get a weird reaction to it. But I'm being my authentic self. Instead of feeling uncomfortable from that, I have grown into this kind of enjoyment of making other people uncomfortable just by doing what comes naturally to me and not hurting anyone and having a good time. And I've enjoyed my life so much more from doing that. And I really just like urge all of you to do the same and just be you authentically and live your authentic life. And I don't know, there's nothing more beautiful than that. So thank you all so much for watching. This has been 25 things that I've learned in my 25 years of life. I'm 25. Have a great day.